What are games without blood? Think about age-old classics such as Mortal Kombat on top, as well as modern favorites like Bowmasters and Sniper 3D. Can you imagine them without a single drop of blood? In any color. That's what China's game scene is about to look like. And those are just a few iconic examples of popular action games. Many other types of games use blood to add realism, because that's what players like. Games that feel real. In the past, games that wanted to publish in China could get away with things like colored blood as in any color but red. Now, the new rules are very clear and straightforward. All blood means no blood. That includes anything that can be imagined as blood. Before the new regulation, blood, bones, deads, human corpses, and dismembered body parts were already banned. Older regulations have already required many games to make alterations to their assets before they could be launched in China. However, when it came to in-game blood, developers devised all kinds of clever ways to get around the restrictions. This included changing the color of blood from red to blue, black, or white, and many games pulled off getting licensed in China with these techniques. Now that new regulations have been passed, blood and anything players might perceive as blood is definitively forbidden. No more workarounds, and as far as we know, the law takes effect immediately, with its new set of regulations. China has also banned the use of the word colonial in a game. New regulations may put a silencer on the violence Chinese players can experience in your game, but it will not stop them from shooting. China's latest set of regulations will have a huge impact, not only on the action and first-person shooter genres, but on any game that uses combat effects. Depending on how you have designed your game, and assets such as in-game textures and animations, complying with the new regulations can require a huge amount of effort. In some cases, you may even need to redesign certain components from scratch. So what should developers do? You could delete all the bloody assets from your game, but that would leave you with a pretty bland user experience. A better way to approach the blood ban is to rethink how your players can experience combat. With the right strategy, your redesign can be compliant with the new rules and well received by players. Here are a few examples of how you can rethink animated violence and combat feedback in your game. Even the biggest publishers in China are redoing their top-performing games in order to get enhanced compliance with new regulations. Take Tencent, China's largest game publisher, as a recent example. When their Battle Royale shooter PUBG Mobile could not get approval in China, they quickly remodeled it under the name Game for Peace. Though the new game bears striking resemblances to PUBG Mobile and allows players to carry over their progress, it is fully compliant with China's new laws and has already gained monetization approval. How does Game for Peace deal with combat violence? Cleverly and creatively. Besides having no blood, opponents now wave goodbye when they are shot dead and leave loot box behind. On Twitter, fans are calling it hilariously wholesome. It is certainly a great example of how to comply while retaining the fun of the game. Even if your game was already fully licensed in China, you now run the risk of having that license withdrawn until you change the game in compliance with the new rules. It's hard to say when the Chinese Gaming Authority will get around to tracking your game, but you should count on them doing so at some point. If your game is high on China's charts, expect them to get to you faster. What you want to do now is think about how you can get compliant as soon as possible. The suggestion with regards to a time frame could be to have it coincide with your next major update. The minutiae of China's content restrictions have developed over a period of time, and compared with an overall trend toward increasingly heavy regulation of game content. With that in mind, we can expect there to be further restrictions on the cards in the future. In summary, things that are now banned from games in China include blood of any color, defined as anything that can be imagined as blood, corpses, skeletons, and bones, guts and dismembered body parts. The Chinese word for kill, steal. These restrictions are not impossible to work with. Here is an example of how we changed the models in the game Hand of Fate to comply with the Chinese regulations. How Yodo 1 changed one of the character classes in the game Hand of Fate. Right is before the change and left is after. This Yodo 1 video gives more examples of such adjustments. Certainly, China's latest and very comprehensive ban on anything that can be imagined as blood impacts a lot of games. But that's no reason to shut yourself out of the Chinese market. Whether you are currently licensed or have your sights set on expanding to China at some point in the future, you can make the whole process easier for yourself by making adjustments to how your game displays blood and violence. Looking ahead, think about how you can design your game in such a way that animated gore can be relatively simple to modify or turn off. This will ensure that you are China ready when you want to launch in what is still the world's largest market for games. China may have put an end to bloodshed in games, but your revenue can still flow freely. Get in touch with Yodo 1 to learn more. The Gamasutra job board is the most diverse, active and established board of its kind for the video game industry. Here is just one of the many positions being advertised right now. Location: Portland, Oregon. Pixelpool is an international, world-class retail and brand interactive visualization company with offices in 5 countries. At our Portland, Oregon office, we are currently looking for a NEXCEPTIONALPACKANDDEVELOPERTO work on innovative 3D applications including Windows applications, virtual reality experiences and DOS apps. You will be working on projects for some of the world's leading brands, as well as creating tools for our development team. You will join our interactive team to work on projects an international client based together with developers in the Netherlands and an international team of artists and asset creators. We are looking for a social and highly motivated candidate that can think on their feet, is flexible and can adapt quickly to changing circumstances. We transpose a very motivated, friendly, and happy environment and hope to bring more people on board to positively evolve our amazing culture. Responsibilities: backend programming and integration, implementing systems in Unreal Engine 4 with blueprints and C, tools creation and third-party library to support system creation, collaboration with technical artists and designers, establishing best practices as part of the development team. Create car systems and custom plugins. Requirements: BS, MS degree in computer science, 2 years programming experience in C, interest in learning the 3D game engine, Unreal Engine, proficiency in at least one of the following: SQL and database management systems, EOS development with an understanding of Objective-C, networking, TCP/IP, and specifically, HTTP requests and protocols, basic understanding of data structures, algorithms, design patterns, and software development methodologies, comfortable in solving problems outside of primary area of expertise, a desire to work in a positive, Collaborative and international team environment. Nice to haves. Experience with 3D game engine, Unreal Engine, Unity, etc. Proficiency in 2D and 3D math. Demonstrated ability to architect and implement features rapidly and reliably. Experience with UX standards and creation. Programming experience in Python. Experience with implementing QA core standards and methodologies. What can we offer you? Working in an creative and dynamic environment in downtown Portland. Being part of an international company with opportunities to travel abroad. Create innovative products for renowned brands.
401k.
Healthcare. Interested? Apply now. Whether you are just starting out